A Fox News alert on brand new revelations about the government's widespread surveillance of millions and millions of Americans and the identity of the man who leaked that story. Hello, everyone. Glad you're with us. Welcome to a brand new hour inside America's news headquarters.
I'm Patty Ann Brown in for Heather Childers. The British newspaper The Guardian, which first broke this story, is now revealing its source. The paper says a 29-year-old NSA contractor spilled the secrets.
National correspondent Steve Santani is live in Washington with the very latest. And Steve, what can you tell us about the person who leaked this information to the media?
Well, he is an American named Edward Snowden, who used to work for the CIA. Now, the Guardian of London released this video of its interview with Snowden, conducted by journalists Glenn Greenwald and Laura Poitras. Snowden is now employed by a defense contractor working at the office of the National Security Agency in Hawaii, where he lived. He recently, though, flew to Hong Kong, where he remains at this time, and where he gave permission for his name to be released. Greenwald suggested today that Snowden is performing a vital public service, but some disagree. Here are both sides.
There's no national security harm from letting people know that they're collecting all phone records, that they're tapping into the internet, that they're planning massive cyber attacks, both foreign and even domestic. These are things that the American people have a right to know.
Greenwald says that he's got it all and now is an expert on the program. He doesn't have a clue how this thing works. Neither did the person who released just enough information to literally be dangerous.
And that person, Edward Snowden, told The Guardian Americans have a right to know what's being done in their name. Greg?
Steve, are changes being suggested now to how the government gathers information?
Right. Senator Rand Paul condemns the government surveillance, and today he proposed this unique way forward. Listen.
I'm going to be asking all the internet providers and all of the phone companies, ask your customers to join me in a class action lawsuit. If we get 10 million Americans saying we don't want our phone records looked at, then maybe somebody will wake up and say things will change in Washington.
Meantime, the NSA is asking the Justice Department to consider possible criminal charges against Snowden. Greg, back to you.
You know, anybody who's an AT&T customer, a Verizon customer, Google, you name it, I suppose they would have legal standing to file a class action lawsuit. So we'll wait and see what happens here. This could be a big and long legal battle. All right.
Absolutely.
Steve Santani, thanks very much. Well, the snooping scandal is just the very latest in our government's long history of controversial spy programs. In 1978, you may recall that Congress passed the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, known as FISA, creating a secret court to sign off on wiretapping and search warrants. Flash forward to 2001, 1 month after the 9/11 terror attacks, lawmakers rushed the Patriot Act into law, giving the government unprecedented authority to track suspected terrorists. Then in late 2005, the New York Times reveals that under the orders of President Bush, the NSA has been using warrantless wiretapping for years. 6 months later, USA Today uncovers that the NSA is secretly collecting phone records of millions of Americans and storing them in a giant database. 2007. Congress approves changes to the FISA Act. They amend it, allowing the NSA to eavesdrop on certain conversations without approval from the secret court. And then in 2011, President Obama signs a 4-year extension of the Patriot Act provisions on record searches and roving wiretaps, which, of course, brings us to last week and the bombshell reports from the British newspaper The Guardian that NSA is collecting all kinds of data on millions and millions of Americans. Later in the program, we're going to be talking more about this with Pulitzer Prize-winning reporter Judy Miller. She joins us to talk about what this means for our security and safety and the possibility that terrorists could actually be slipping through the cracks.